Feeling lost in your UPSC preparation? Too many books, countless strategies, and no clear direction? It's time to leave the confusion behind. Welcome to Vision IAS Jaipur's GS Foundation Course 2026, starting from 20th January at 7:30 am and 5 pm. With Delhi's expert faculty now in Jaipur, personalized mentorship and structured guidance, you'll have everything you need to master the UPSC Civil Services examination. From comprehensive syllabus coverage to advanced test series with performance analysis, we ensure your preparation stays on track. Prepare smarter, not harder, with proven strategies, consistent motivation, and complete support from Vision IAS Jaipur. Join the GS Foundation Course 2026 today. Batch starts 20th January, 7:30 am and 5 pm.
afternoon, everyone. So my name is Rajesh Govindaraj. I'm faculty of Geography and Environment here at Vision IAS. So it's been a long association of nearly 10 years. So with Vision, and even before that, there's some experience of guiding UPSC aspirants. So my specialization here in teaching here is the subjects of geography and environment. The subject of geography and environment as such, if you try to understand the nature, so rather than explaining it, so let me just give you a very simple example. Okay, so by taking one of the previous year's questions. This is one of the previous year's UPSC question. Okay, so just go through this question and try to answer this. So have you prepared for UPSC before? You're just beginning to start? So you're planning to appear for 2026? Okay, good. So in this session, the idea is to understand the basics required for the preparation of UPSC and how to kickstart your preparation as early as possible and take the advantage of early start, and to have a general overview of the subject of environment and geography, and to go through the approach which is required for these subjects. Okay, this is the idea. So just read this question and try to give me the answer. This is a previous year's UPSC question. So you must be wondering, so what is the purpose of this kind of question? UPSC is saying like you are traveling from Kohima to Kottayam, and what is the minimum number of states within India through which you can travel, including the origin and destination. So it's not like you are actually going to go on the road and travel with all these states from one part to another. Why UPSC is asking all these questions? This kind of question. So what is the answer here? Any idea? Yeah, that is a very important aspect. You should know, first thing you should know, where is Kottayam and where is Kohima. Where is Kohima? Kohima is in Nagaland, Kottayam is in Kerala. Okay, now you are traveling from Nagaland to Kerala, including origin and destination. Okay, from Nagaland you have to enter Assam. To come out of northeast you have to pass through Assam for sure. Now from Assam, you have to go through West Bengal. There is no other rasta out of Assam. Okay, so you have to enter West Bengal. From West Bengal, you can directly go to Odisha. Odisha to Andhra Pradesh, both are connected. Andhra Pradesh to Karnataka and then Kerala. Or Andhra Pradesh to Tamil Nadu and Kerala, both are same. Nagaland, Assam, West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. Total 7. The idea, the purpose behind this question is how well you have understood geography of India, and how you visualize this, how you see it in real, how you exactly see the geography of India, how you memorize, how you rather than memorizing, it's about the picturize. Okay, so you may not be required to travel like this, but you should have a general overview of India. You are working as an Indian administrative officer, IAS officer across India. So without having the idea of geography of India, without having the knowledge of geography of India, so what kind of administration we can do? Because every part of India is connected to other parts, geographically, climatologically, in terms of resource sharing, in terms of human resource management, various other factors. Everything is interconnected. You should know. So you are, as a part of All India Service, you are working in India, you should have the broad overview of the geography of India. Without that, what kind of function we can do? Okay, on the ground functioning के लिए तो चाहिए. That is the idea of geography here. It gives a very clear and direct, so the message to you, how exactly how to prepare geography. Geography is not something which is a static subject. It is the most practical, most dynamic, and how you are going to see things in real. That is what is going to matter. Okay, one more question I am going to show. So dew drops are these small water droplets you find on the surface. If you get up early in the morning during the winter time, you see that. So the soil surface or the leaves or the trees or even the vehicles or buildings, they covered with small water droplets. That is what is called as dew drops. On some days you don't see dew drops. That is usually cloudy days, cloudy nights. Why? Why dew is not formed on the cloudy night? What is the reason behind this? It's mainly because the clouds reflect back the Earth's radiation. It is a conceptual understanding which you require to get through this. So because dew is formed on the surface, okay, so whenever there is a winter condition, the dew is formed on the surface due to the condensation of the water droplets present in the air. The water vapor which is present in the air has to condense. For that, this air has to cool down. If this air has to cool down, the overall heat which is present inside the land should get released. It should escape, which usually happens during the night time. The land loses heat and cools down. As the land cools down, the air above this also cools down, then it condenses and then there is a dew formation. Okay, simple concept. If there are clouds above this, these clouds will reflect back this radiation back to the surface. Whatever the heat which is lost by the surface is sent back. And the surface remains warm and the air above that also remains warm. That is why we feel little bit warm conditions on a cloudy day before the rainfall. After the rainfall, temperature drops, that is another thing. But before the rainfall, if it is too cloudy, we feel everything, it is warm, little bit warm than the normal. Is it right? And because of this warm condition, the air above this will not be able to cool down and condense. For condensation, it has to cool down. Then only it can result in the formation of dew. You get the point? Just a basic idea. What is geography? So geography is basically the study of the earth and the phenomena associated with the earth. Every different phenomena associated with the earth, whether it is a phenomena which is related to the land, okay, the topography, which we call it as geomorphology. The phenomena associated with the atmosphere, the climatic condition, climatology. Or the study of oceans, oceanography. Or the study of soil, biogeography. Study of environment, environmental geography. The various different phenomena associated with the earth and their interconnection. The study of physical geography helps us in understanding the economic activities on the earth. That is what is economic geography. The physical and the economic aspect impact the human settlement. The way people live, the way they function, their culture, their language, their life habits, everything is decided by the geography. That is social geography. Is that right? So the geography is the study of the phenomena on the surface of earth. Every different phenomena which is happening on the surface of earth. So that is the basic idea of geography. It is a study of people and the places and their surrounding environment. The interrelationship among them. Okay, so geography as a subject, it was very wide, very huge area. And its understanding is very much required for our better survival. Most of the economic activities are depend upon the geography only. Okay, we start from primary, let's say agriculture. Agriculture requires a good soil, water availability, temperature, rainfall, geography. Industry. Industries are depend upon the raw material resources, minerals, energy resources, depends upon geography. Transportation depends upon geography. You can have a well-connected network of transportation over plain area and difficult to have the same in hilly area. Is that right? Where there is a well-connected network of rivers, you can have a inland water transportation, which is the cheapest mode of transportation, cheapest and most efficient and most environmental friendly also. So geography controls every different type of economic activities. Through that it controls the human activities. Their way of living, their way of settlements, their way of functioning, everything is decided by geography only. And it's a very, very big area. The study of geography is a very, very big area. What are the areas under geography? What are the broad areas under geography? There is one main aspect which we call it as the physical aspect, the study of physical environment, which is called as physical geography. The study of physical environment is physical geography. The study of human aspect is human geography. Fine? In physical geography, there are various aspects, like the study of land is geomorphology. Study of climate is climatology. Study of ocean is oceanography. Study of soil is biogeography. These are the various aspects of physical geography. Physical geography is the core of geography, the foundation of geography, which is required for all other branches. Okay, so physical geography's parts are geomorphology, climatology, study of land, study of atmosphere, study of water, ocean, study of soil. And then study of the entire surrounding environment is environmental geography. What about human geography? Human geography has economic geography. That is study of various economic activities, agriculture, industries, transportation, all these various economic activities and their interaction. That is economic geography, which is part of human geography. And then there is social geography. The study of social aspects like population, settlement, tribes, culture, language, religion, region, everything is social geography. There is physical aspect, there is human aspect. Is there anything else in geography? There is political geography. The borders, frontiers and the theories. For example, you must have heard about the theory of heartland. You know the theory of heartland, which made Hitler to believe that capturing Russia is very much important to control the world. That is why he wanted to capture Russia. That is how the Second World War was driven, with this idea of heartland theory. The heartland is that central part of Russia which is totally surrounded by mountains and it is totally filled with resources. Those which control the country which controls this heartland will control the entire Asia. The country which controls the entire Asia will control the entire world. Is that right? That is what is heartland theory. That made Hitler to believe that, but he did not consider the climatic aspect. When the war was going on, it was very difficult to proceed ahead. It is very, very severely cold in that region of heartland, the Siberian region, basically. So that entire study is there. That is what is political geography. Then there is cosmology also, the study of space. universe, solar system, planets, the earth, stars, galaxies, and the phenomena associated with that. All of the study is required for geography. Right? And then there is cartography. Cartography is the study of map making. Study of maps and map making is cartography. And then comes regional geography. Study of regions in detail. There are various different branches to geography. I have just written few. In this, it is very much important for you to understand how much is required for UPSC. How much is required for UPSC, that is more important. You cannot study everything related to geography, right? So it will not complete. I have been studying geography since last 15 years. Still it is not over. So how do we come to conclusion what is required for UPSC? What is required, what is not required? कैसे पता चलेगा? Yes. Two important sources are there. One is syllabus, another one is PYQ. Previous year's questions. So let's go through the syllabus first. This is the syllabus of prelims examination as given in the notification. In the prelim syllabus, we have two papers, paper 1, paper 2. In paper 1, it is mainly about general studies where we have different subjects. Geography is one of the subjects. The highlighted part is geography's syllabus in prelims. So what is the name of this subject? The name of the subject is Indian and World Geography. It includes three main aspects: physical, social, economic. Social and economic is what is human geography. So basically these are the only two aspects. You don't have to read the other aspects which we discussed earlier. Political geography, cartography, so thought, all of this you don't have to study. Only three aspects. But you have to study from both world as well as India's perspective, which is separately mentioned. Fine? Mains. In mains, the syllabus includes three main topics. This is just a screenshot of the notification, okay, UPSC notification which you get in the first week of February. Okay, so with that notification, so the UPSC prelims process will begin. In that they would have mentioned every detail required for a candidate to be known. Okay, so for him to know the details of the examination, the instructions for the candidates, his age, qualification, all of this is there in the notification. Other than notification, the syllabus is there, of course, syllabus of the examination, GS, optional, all these topics which you have to study. Other than that, is there anything else in the notification? There are a few important instructions in the notification, which gives you an idea how the examination is going to be conducted. UPSC very clearly mentioned, very cleverly mentions. Within the notification, there are certain hidden lines describing the nature of examination. This is going to be very, very important for you. Notification is the most important document in your entire preparation. Your entire preparation, notification is the most important document. One has to be thoroughly ready, thoroughly be going through this notification from one end to another. Of course, many part of it which is not applicable, you can skip. All the optionals, rest of the other optional you can skip. Okay, so those criteria which is not required to be read by you, which is not required to be fulfilled, you can skip that. But rest, what is applicable to you, you have to read it, not once, not twice, multiple times you have to read it, so that you are completely be thorough with this notification and the instructions. There are certain instructions which is considered to be very, very crucial. For example, okay, I'm just going to give one example. While before the main syllabus, there's one particular line in the main syllabus, the last line. It has given how the answer should be written. Okay, so how the answer should be written, that is given. You want to see? Let me just show. Okay, this is the site. Go to active examinations. Okay, so the last one is Civil Services Prelims 2024. Okay, 2025 will come in February or February, usually February. This is the notification. Okay, so as I told you, notification is the most important part. A candidate has to be completely, so thorough 100% from one end to another, not once, not twice. You have to read multiple times. You get a lot of information which you will not find otherwise. Okay, so for example, so this part, see here. It has described how the main examination and its nature. Go through this, you will find a lot of information. I'll just read this particular line. Read this particular line alone. Can you see? Very clearly in the notification, UPSC has mentioned how you have to write your answers. A candidate must give relevant, meaningful and succinct answer. Try to analyze, you will get a lot of information here. What is a relevant answer? A relevant answer is the one which fulfills the demand of the question. Okay, this is not any kind of board exam or any other university exam where you just write whatever you know. There also you will not get marks, but you will get some marks over there. Here you will not get any mark if it is not relevant. You have to write what is being asked for, not what you know. That is the meaning of relevant. Meaningful, it has to be complete. There should be introduction, there should be body, there should be conclusion. There should be some meaning. A person who is reading this answer should make some sense out of this. That is a meaningful answer. It has to be succinct, it has to be crisp, it has to be brief. Not beating around the bush. Okay, so filling unnecessary content, not required. It has to be crisp, short. That is the meaning of succinct. Okay, you go through this in detail, read about this, refer the toppers copies, you will get a lot of information. You yourself can come to conclusion how your answer should be. Like this, there are a lot of information related to this examination. Please try to read this. This is the most important part of the entire notification. The instructions for the candidates regarding the nature of the exam. Okay, from here I have taken this. Okay, the main syllabus. There are 3 topics in the mains. The salient features of the world's physical geography, the first topic. Second topic is related to the economic resources, the key natural resources, and then the factors responsible for the location of primary, secondary and tertiary sector and in the various parts of the world. Third one, important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity. Okay, there are 3 topics mentioned here. This is physical geography, this is economic geography. In mains, there is no mention of human geography. In prelims, we saw that there is a mention of human geography. In mains, there is no mention of, in mains, there is no mention of social geography. This is human geography only. There is no mention of social geography. Okay, so in mains, we have physical geography, economic geography, but social geography is not mentioned. Why? This is part of GS1, where there is already a topic of society. Society is what is social geography, right? You study society from the geography's point of view. Of course, you have to integrate. When you are studying General Studies 1, you will definitely try to connect both society as well as geography. So therefore, it is not required to be studied separately. Otherwise, it is not something like you don't have to read social geography. You have to read. To connect geography with society, you need certain social aspects related to population, settlement. So those things you have to read it. Yes. There is a third important topic, that is geophysical phenomena. Such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, all of these are part of physical geography only. But still UPSC has mentioned this separately. Why? Because you have to read it little bit with more detail. थोड़ा सा और डिटेल में पढ़ना है आपको. है ना? इसलिए तो स्पेसिफिकली दिया है. Why you have to read this in more detail? Because this is more current related and this is more related to your job after clearing UPSC. This is where disaster management, human management, resource management, everything is going to come. The recent happenings in the current affairs, right? Therefore, you have to read them in more detail. UPSC is specifically mentioning. And if you go through PYQ, you will understand this. This section carries a lot of weightage. इस section के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा weightage होता है. Usually, the maximum number of questions come from this section alone. And you will not read this separately. You will read it as part of physical geography only. It is just mentioned separately in the syllabus, just to highlight the importance of this. This is geography. Let's understand the syllabus of environment also. Okay, so let me discuss both of them parallelly. Environment is a subject which is closely related to geography. As I told you, in physical geography, there is a separate unit called as environmental geography. But UPSC has made it as a separate subject in the prelims. In mains also, in GS 3, there is a separate subject. Fine? You have to study thoroughly the environmental aspects. I'll tell you why. First, let's go through the syllabus. What is given in the syllabus? In prelims, general issues on environmental ecology, biodiversity and climate change. This is what is mentioned in the prelims. Prelim syllabus. 3 major areas are mentioned. One is ecology, another one is biodiversity, third one is climate change. But it doesn't stop here. Beyond that, there is a line which is given that do not require any subject specialization. What do you mean by this? Why UPSC is saying that you don't need a subject specialization in this subject? Whereas this line is not added in any other part, this is specifically added to environment subject. Why? Again, it is trying to give you a hint. When it comes to environment, you don't have to study in too technical and too detailed manner. It is not required. If you see the questions of environment subject, you will understand this. The questions are not going to be too technical, too detailed, beyond what is required for a common man. Never. It is always from the perspective of a common man. The environment questions are always going to be from application oriented, what is required for a common man to understand. It is about those issues which will impact the general public. They are not going to ask in too detailed manner. If it is about climate change, you need to know what are the major greenhouse gases, so that in our daily activity we will be aware, okay, so what are the greenhouse gases which we are also releasing, we are also contributing towards the climate change. You don't have to go behind and understand the chemistry behind that. That is the idea of not requiring subject specialization. Read it completely from practical purpose. Fine? Mains, environment is part of GS 3, which includes the subject of economics, science and technology also. There it is just one line is given, conservation, environmental pollution and degradation, and then environmental impact assessment. It is a very, very short, one of the smallest part of this main syllabus. In one line it is covered. Okay? This is syllabus. Prelims as well as mains. What about interview? Geography and environment, do they have any role in interview? Definitely yes. Definitely yes. In interview, you have to thoroughly prepare regarding the environmental issues, which is currently happening, which is impacting any common man for that matter. In addition to that, you have to read some disaster management because that is related to your job. At the district level, district disaster management authority is headed by DM or DC. When you go on the field and start working, that is where you are going to work. You are the in charge of this DDMA. Whenever there is any kind of disaster, you have to immediately take action over there. Without understanding the background of any disaster, what kind of action we can take? Every disaster, every natural disaster is a geographical phenomena. Understand the geography behind this. Understand the environmental issues behind that, which is caused by that. You can handle all of this in a better manner. So that is also checked in UPSC. In UPSC interview, in many times they ask the situation based question. Okay, there is a flood in your district. You're a district magistrate, DM, IAS officer. What are the precautions you will take? You should have read this. In GS paper 3, there is disaster management. Along with environment, there is disaster management. So therefore, geography, environment also has a huge role in personality test also, all the 3 stages. Let's understand the weightage of these 2 subjects, geography, environment. This is the weightage of geography since 2011, that is when the syllabus was changed. To give you an idea how the pattern has changed, I have given you all the years, the number of questions which have been asked in geography. Out of 100 questions in GS1 of prelims, these are the number of questions which have been asked in geography section. Okay, first 5 years you can see there was high weightage, approximately around 18 to 20 questions. The next 6 years there was low weightage, approximately around 10 questions. And now since the last 3 years, again it has increased, again it has come to 20 questions. The last year 2024, there were 22 questions from geography alone. There are a total of 22 questions. I've given all of this. Usually you don't require to go through all the 14-15 years, but just to understand the pattern. Okay, so initially there was a high weightage, then low, and then again now it is high. One of the highest, last year was the highest in geography only. What about mains? Mains is consistent. Since 2013 it's consistent. It is approximately around 100 marks. Okay, so mains in general studies 1, geography carries nearly 100 marks. In 2024, the weightage was 85 marks. Okay, it varies between 85 to 110. Once it has gone up to 115 also, we can take an average of 100. 100 marks in GS1. In GS3, there is environment. Okay, so we'll come to that. So this makes geography one of the largest section both for prelims as well as mains. This is environment. If you see the environment section, it has been consistently high throughout all the time. There is no variation at all. Okay, somewhere between 16 to 18, sometimes it has gone up to 20, 22 also. Okay, sometimes it has gone down up to 15, but 15 to 20 is for sure compulsory. So imagine the weightage of geography and environment in prelims. Around 20 in geography, 20 in environment. If both of them are coming at high levels, nearly 40 out of 60. Last year there were around 22 questions in geography and 14 questions in environment. You must be aware of this very famous dialogue from Amitabh Bachchan movie. Now the same dialogue modified for UPSC aspirants. One who prepares thoroughly geography and environment section, you can guarantee 35 out of 100 for sure. 35 question, imagine. No other section contributes to this high levels in terms of weightage. Okay, this is applicable. If environment is high, geography is moderate. If environment is moderate, geography is high. It's always, you can expect around 1/3 of all the questions to be environment and geography related, including current affairs. In mains, the weightage of environment, including disaster management, comes to around 65 marks. Including disaster management, it comes to around 65 marks out of 250. Okay, because in general GS3 there are many subjects are there. There's economic, science and tech. Okay, so and then there is say internal security. Okay, all of these are there. Combining, it is totally 65 marks. So what is the weightage of geography plus environment in mains? Nearly 165. 165 out of 750. Okay, so ethics, keep it separate. Out of 753 papers of GS, 165. Highest for any other subject. Again, in mains also, geography and environment becomes one of the most important topic, one of the most important area.
Reading a newspaper daily on an average takes 1.5 to 2 hours. Take that and multiply it into 365 days. Yes, that's how long you spend staying up to date with current affairs. What if we told you we could cover 1 year of current affairs in 60 hours? Vision IAS introduces the PT 365 program, a unique 20-day course that will help aspirants cover important topics in detail. Starting from 9th January at 5 p.m., choose the program for comprehensive features like key topics compiled from sources such as The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times and more. Coverage specific to the prelims format. Doubt clearing sessions and mentoring for a focused approach. Option of live online recorded classes for distance learning students and flexibility in class timing. What are you waiting for? Enroll today and master current affairs for prelims success. UPSC Prelims is not just the first step in your civil services examination journey. It is also an opportunity to form a strong foundation for all stages of the examination. What you study today will help you accomplish results tomorrow. Be it syllabus, time management, revision or expert guidance, effective preparation is an amalgamation of all this and much more. Walk in the footsteps of UPSC toppers and pave the way for your UPSC Prelims success with the Laksha Prelims Mentoring Program 2025, starting from 11th January. This well-thought program is curated to offer a balanced study approach with personalized mentoring from experts, offering benefits such as strategic plan for revision and practice for GS, CSAT and current affairs, continuous performance assessment and feedback, personalized mentoring from highly experienced and qualified mentors, dedicated support, motivation and technological assistance, smart and efficient preparation strategy, access to Sandhan personalized test with 25,000 plus high quality questions, along with access to Laksha Prelims practice tests. Enroll today and conquer UPSC Prelims 2025 heads-on with structured guidance and mentoring.
So we have understood the weightage. Let's understand the pattern. The pattern can be understood with the help of PYQ. You know the syllabus now, you know the weightage, the general area which you have to study, so you know the weightage. Let's understand the nature of the questions. Understanding this PYQ is very, very important. I strongly recommend anyone who has just started their preparation to go through previous year's questions along with their preparation. Best scenario, go through PYQ even before you start any subject. Don't wait for the entire subject to be completed. Then you will see, no, that is totally a blunder. If you go through PYQ, it will give you a path, a clear-cut path. This is how you have to prepare this subject. Then you can give all the attention in that particular direction. Otherwise, what happens, you will read aram se totally in a distributed manner. You will read here, unnecessary things you will read. And at the end of it, you will come to know that UPSC is not even asking about this. Once you see the PYQ, then again you will start reading accordingly. There is a total waste of time. You want to plan smartly for your preparation, please start with PYQ first. First go through the PYQ. Then do it. Okay, जो subject study आपको करना है through either the NCRTs or class notes or material, whatever you are going through, then go through it. And parallelly also, at regular intervals, you have to refer to the PYQs. By going through PYQ, first you will understand the overall weightage. Weightage we have already studied, that is based on PYQ only. The nature of questions, this is also very much important. Nature of questions include whether it is analytical question or conceptual based, static questions or factual question or current affairs based. What kind of questions UPSC is asking? What was the nature earlier? What is the nature now? You need to prepare for all the types. You cannot take risk. So that we can orient our preparation accordingly, right? If you are completely studying only factual thing and UPSC is asking conceptual part, it is of no use. Or UPSC is also focusing on the facts and information, you have to prepare that also. If you are just studying the conceptual part, you have to give some information, right? That is what is nature. Shift in the pattern I showed you. Okay, first 5 years there were high number of questions, then it decreased, again there it is increased, right? Not only in terms of weightage, even in terms of the change in the nature. Earlier there used to be good number of conceptual based questions, and in between the orientation was mainly towards the facts and information. Now again in the last 3 years, again it has moved towards the conceptual type. That shift, the change is also very important. What is the present trend? What is the recent trend? We have to prepare accordingly. And also PYQs help us in predicting the topics, at what depth we have to study and what areas which we have to focus. See, otherwise if you start studying geography, I told you even 15 years it has not been sufficient for me to complete geography. There's so many things to read even now. How will you identify those which are required for UPSC? By using PYQ. Ideally, 10 years of PYQ analysis, if you do it, that would be sufficient. That will be more than sufficient. In case of time shortage, a minimum of 5 years is compulsory. A minimum of 5 years is compulsory. You will understand all of these various aspects of preparation using PYQ. Let me show you a few examples of this PYQ, the nature of the questions which have been asked. In geography, overall we see two types of questions in the theoretical part of geography. One is totally static and conventional part, like this question, which is based on the earthquakes, earthquake waves. When you study earthquakes and the earthquake waves, you study about it. Directly, this is a question from NCERT. You study them, you will get the answer. That is why I've written static and conventional. This is one way of questioning. The question on the dewdrops was this example only. It is directly from NCERT. You study it thoroughly, you understand this. Here the more focus is on the conceptual part. Another question is regarding the information or from the current affairs. You may not find this in your textbooks, or even if you find them, it is lost in so much of information. How will you identify, okay, this is important, if something is there in the news related to it? For example, in 2023, there was a question on cobalt. Which country produces the maximum amount of cobalt? This is totally from the current affairs in the context of electric vehicles. The battery, you need huge amount of cobalt for that. And there's a lot of issue associated with the extraction of cobalt, environmental issues, as well as the discrimination. There's child labor, exploitation happening over there. It's because of that it was in news. Okay, can you see two types of question? One is static and conceptual part. Another one is current affairs, usually which is related to information. It is related to information. And then there is map related questions also. Here also you will find those locations which are static in nature. If you have studied geography, you would definitely know about this. Important peaks, important mountains and their extent. And the other one is current related. Totally a location which is currently in news, a lake which has completely dried up, or recent examples of forest fire, in which location it is happening, or a newly established hydropower project, like that. Totally from a current affairs. In mains, geography is mainly oriented towards the static part. In GS1, I told you there are 100 marks totally. Usually 8 questions will be there, 100 marks. In that, 5 to 6 questions are totally related to the static part of geography. You study and prepare thoroughly, you can score very well. You can score very, very well in this part. Okay, so for example, the forces which influence the ocean currents and describe the role in fishing industry, directly from NCERT. Implications of uneven distribution of mineral oil. You know about the distribution, you will think and write. This is a static applied. Okay, you know about the distribution, now understand what is the implication of this. The third one is static plus current affairs. You have to mix static and current affairs also. Okay, so the crisis of availability and access to freshwater resources, how the freshwater resources are distributed across the world, and what are the implications, what are the issues associated with that. This is where your static knowledge, you mix it with the current issues, current events. Color coded weather warning, totally from current affairs. 4 type of questions I have given. In that, maximum questions come from here, static part. 50 to 60% comes from here. Okay, and then some applied question, and then very few current affairs. Out of 8, maximum you may find 1 current affairs. So that make the scoring of geography section much higher. Because it is not too dynamic. You can thoroughly prepare. You prepare thoroughly, you will get the marks over there. You want to increase marks in GS1, please focus on geography. Write answers as much as possible. Be completely thorough with the physical and economic aspects of geography. Write more examples, more figures. Give some current context. Current recent issues. Bring it here. It will greatly push your GS1 marks. Please focus on geography. What about environment? In environment, you find 2 types of questions. Again, one is related to the static part of environment, other one current affairs, but in both the cases, our guideline is do not require subject specialization. Okay, please keep this in mind always. In the context of environment, you don't need subject specialization. Whatever the topics you are going to read, whatever the content you are going to read, always read it from common man's point of view. For example, this question was asked in 2021. In grasslands, the savanna consists of grassland with scattered trees, but extensive areas have no trees. Forest development in such area generally kept in check by the factors. What are the factors? The fire, grazing, and seasonal rainfall. Okay, idea is why a grassland remains grassland, why it will not convert into forest. ठीक है? मतलब अगर grassland है तो वहाँ पर forest भी हो सकता है ना? Forest क्यों नहीं है? There is because there is some checks and balance. What are those checks and balance? One is fire. During the dry season, fire easily catches. If there are trees, trees easily catch fire. And they will not come back very easily. Grass also catches fire, but they come back very quickly. In the rain time, it immediately comes back. Trees will not come back. Fire is a limiting factor for trees. Grazing. Have you seen savanna grassland? There's so many grazing animals. Large number of zebra, deer. Okay, so wildebeest, elephants, giraffes, all of these are grazing animal. They continuously graze, and any kind of small plants, they finish it off. Grass also they eat, but grass quickly come back, but the other plants and trees will not come back. Third one is seasonal rainfall. That means limited rainfall. For trees, you need a good amount of rainfall. For grass, you don't need a great amount of rainfall. Even you provide some amount of rainfall, it is sufficient. Therefore, it grows very, very well. The three factors. See, practical perspective. Another one, current affairs related. This is related to nitrogen cycle. Okay, there is a concept called as biogeochemical cycle. In that, one of the important cycle is nitrogen cycle. And nitrogen cycle is greatly affected by agriculture as well as animal husbandry and poultry. It releases huge amount of nitrogen. Agriculture soils through fertilizer releases huge amount of nitrous oxide. Because we use so much of नाइट्रोजिनस फर्टिलाइजर्स, यूरिया तो हम ऐसे डालते हैं, पूरा फ्री में सस्ते में मिलता है ना, वी यूज इट, बट सॉइल तो ऑब्जर्व करना भी चाहिए ना, सॉइल तो ऑब्जर्व नहीं कर पाएगा. All of this excess nitrogen will get converted into oxides of nitrogen and gets escaped into the atmosphere. Cattle releases ammonia. Cattle is one of the important emitters of nitrous oxides, oxides of nitrogen into the environment. Poultry industry releases very highly reactive nitrogen compounds into the environment through the excreta, through the poultry feed and the various type of, so the chemicals which are used, antibiotics which are used, all of these are nitrogenous based. We're just trying to push their overall growth, right? So how do the poultry farm functions? They're able to generate so much of revenue using poultry farm. You think they are growing naturally over there? They use a lot of antibiotics for fast growth. And so all of these are nitrogenous compounds only. Whether it is static or current affairs, in both the cases you need to use the common man's perspective. That is the key here. For example, in the topics related to biodiversity, you see questions related to wildlife. Okay, so see a question related to Indian elephant. The leader of elephant group is female. The maximum gestation period can be 22 months. Elephant normally go on calving till the age of 40 years. Among the states in India, highest elephant population is in Kerala. Where will you read all of this information? You will not get a comprehensive material which contains all the information related to these kind of question. Even if one question is there, another question will not be there. No material is comprehensive in case of environment. You need to bring common man's perspective, some common sense, some interest. That is very, very much required. If at all you have some idea regarding the elephants and wild elephants and their groups, you would always know a male elephant, adult male elephant always lives alone. It doesn't live in group. It is the female elephant which lives in group, and in that the eldest female elephant is always the leader. An elephant on an average lives up to 120 to 140 years. If it is living for 120 years, the reproductive age will go up to 60 to 70 years. It is not only 40 years. And being one of the long living mammal, its gestation period also very high, that is around 22 months. And we always know that Kerala is highly known for its cultural festivals and various occasions where they bring all their elephants and they decorate them. People think there are a large number of elephants in Kerala. Yes, of course. but there are more number of elephants in Karnataka. That is why it is a trap. People normally think, okay, Kerala mein hona chahiye, chalo maar karo. But if you have studied about the important animals, wild animals of India, you should also know about their distribution. Elephant is the national heritage animal of India. You should know some details about this, right? कहाँ पर ज़्यादा है, कहाँ पर कम है, कौन सा स्टेट में ज़्यादा है. Karnataka has the highest, Assam has the second, then comes Kerala. So read this. Invasive species specialist group belongs to which of the following organization? It's a report developed by which of the following IUCN. Okay, so basically. It is totally from current affairs. Okay, so if you see these questions, you understand one thing. Environment has a equal weightage of current affairs. जितना आप static part पढ़ोगे उतना ही equally current affairs पढ़ना है. Geography ऐसे नहीं. If there are 3 questions related to static part of geography, there is 1 question related to current affairs. 3:1. In environment, 1:1. 1 question of static part, 1 question of current affairs. There is a huge role. These are just some of the examples, but if you take any question for that matter, everywhere you always see a current affairs. For example, IPCC has predicted a global sea level rise of about 1 meter by AD 2100. What would be the impact on India and other countries in this Indian Ocean region? It could have directly asked what are the impacts of sea level rise on India and the surrounding region. But it is bringing the context of IPCC and its report. So you have to bring the data of IPCC. You have to give some arguments given by IPCC here. That is what is being expected. Can you see the role of current affairs? Do you think India will meet 50% of its energy needs from renewable energy by 2030? Justify your answer. How will be the shift of subsidies from fossil fuel to renewable help in achieving the above objective? 50% of energy needs from renewable by 2030. This is a target which we have given as part of INDC under Paris Agreement. Totally related to current affairs. What are the initiatives which we are taking? How we are going to justify this? Yes, we are going to achieve this. How? Please give recent initiatives. All the recent initiatives related to renewable energy. So this is PYQ analysis. PYQ analysis is very, very important. I strongly suggest go through last 10 years of PYQ analysis before you start the preparation of any subject. Do a detailed analysis, divide into subject wise. In geography questions, what are the PYQ questions asked in geomorphology? What are the PYQ questions in climatology? Like this, separate this. First, do a broad understanding. And then whenever you complete particular unit, immediately take up the PYQ and try to solve it and see whether your preparation is sufficient or not. This parallel comparative analysis is very much required here. Is that clear? For this, you can refer to Vision IAS PYQ analysis. There are a large number of such sessions which we have taken. Every year we conduct this for the benefit of the students. Okay, so just go to Vision IAS YouTube channel, search for this PYQ. There's a complete playlist. You will get prelims, you will get geography related separately, environment related separately, history, okay, so economics, science and tech, सबका अलग-अलग हम discuss करते. Sometimes 7 years, sometimes 10 years. Okay, so we strongly recommend you to go through this. Okay, both for prelims as well as mains. Last 10 years minimum. So other than this, for answer rating, okay, answer rating is a very important aspect. Is that right? For mains, you can refer to Vision IAS toppers copy section. Okay, just go to resources. You will find a lot of toppers copies over there. Okay, write answers and compare your answers with them. For daily practice, there is no other better source than topper copies. You get the question also there. Okay, so Let's say for example you have studied geography, पूरा section खत्म कर लिया. You want to study, you want to see how exactly you have performed, you have prepared well or not. Go to any of these toppers with geography questions. Take up one or two questions, write the answer first. Then compare your answer with the topper's answer. You will get a better comparison over there. Because even they would have written in the time limit with that same level of preparation, because you cannot compare with the standard answer here. Standard answer is a perfect answer. We don't want perfect answer. In the examination environment, what is the best answer? Topper's answer. Compare it. See where you can improve. Okay, there is no other better alternative for answer writing improvement here. And for current affairs integration, I told you both geography as well as environment highly depend upon current affairs. Okay, so you can refer to monthly magazine, it is there. Okay, comprehensively covering. Environment section includes geography also. In every month's magazine, there is environment section. In the end, there is geography topics also. There is more environment because as I told you, environment is 50-50 is current affairs. In geography, there is lesser weightage, but still you need to update current affairs. Okay, so at end of the magazine, there are locations related to news. That is for prelims. Okay, please go through that also. Now, sources for geography, sources for environment. Sources for geography, as I suggested, it's always NCERT, which gives you a very important, very good clarity in basic concepts. For basic conceptual clarity, there is no other better source than NCERT. 4 NCERTs are compulsory. This is must. This is your basic source. 11th standard 2 NCERTs, 12th standard 2 NCERTs. This is physical geography. This is human geography. Within that, physical world, physical India. Human world, human India. Okay, 4 NCERTs, you have to thoroughly cover it. There is no alternative. Even if you get a book, textbook, thoroughly compiled, still you read this. New. In geography, it's always new. It is more updated data, you will find that. I think in history, it is reverse. In history, you have to go with the older one. In geography, it's always new. And for those who find these NCERTs difficult, so please refer it from 6th standard itself. 6th to 10th पढ़ के फिर 11th to 12th आना. ठीक है? In addition to this, there is one important textbook which is most important, most relevant for geography, UPSC preparation. It's a very small textbook but very, very effective. ये है G.C. Leong. Short form G.C. Leong. The name of the author is Go Cheng Leong. This is a textbook of world geography. It is not from India. He is a foreign author. It's a world geography. Both physical as well as human aspects are there here. One of the best source for geography, prelims as well as mains. Very small book. बहुत छोटा सा है. But it is written in a very concise as well as precise manner. You will get a lot of information. If you read lines multiple times, you will get multiple information like that. And one of the best source for climatology. The chapter numbers from 13, 14, going all the way up to 25. All of them cover climatology thoroughly. You will not find any other better alternative for climatology. Please thoroughly cover it. At least for climatology, you have to refer this for sure. There is one more book, Total Geography 10th Standard. I refer this. I suggest this for the students. So that specifically because the 12th Standard NCERT of Human Geography is not very much updated, particularly from India's perspective. It is not very much sufficient. You have to read that, of course. First read that and then come here and read the chapters related to Indian economic geography. That is agriculture, resources, industry and transportation. 4 chapters. Thoroughly cover this from the Total Geography. This is very much important. It is like a updation on the 12th Standard NCERT. If you cover these, it would be sufficient. In addition to this, of course, you need to do mapping. Okay, mapping exercise. It has to be done thoroughly through Atlas as well as your wall map. I'm sure all of you would have purchased this wall map. Okay, so the moment you decide to prepare for UPSC, this is the first thing. है ना, तो दीवार पे एक मैप लगा देते हैं. उससे क्या फ़ायदा है पता नहीं, फिर भी लगाना है. सब लोग लगाते हैं, हम भी लगाएंगे. सबको पता चल जाएगा, तो हम भी UPSC प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं. आजकल तो यहाँ से राजेंद्र नगर में तो रूम लेने से, रेंट पे लेने से फ्री में आ जाता है ना, तो लगा के छोड़ दिया होगा प्रीवियस वाला भी, वो भी नहीं पढ़ा होगा. Please don't do that. There is a purpose here. You have to cover mapping through visualization. Mapping should be covered only through visualization. It is not something you will just read and remember. Okay, so this is Kaveri river, this is Talakaveri. The origin of Kaveri river is Talakaveri, the origin of Krishna river is Mahabaleshwar. Instead of doing that, go to a map. Okay, this is the Kaveri river, this is how it is flowing. Okay, this is how Talakaveri is there. Bagal mein Mysore hai, niche Kerala hai. This is the Western Ghats. Try to imagine that. Try to visualize that. Okay, this is the Krishna river. Okay, तो यहाँ पर है कृष्णा रिवर, फिर यहाँ से आएगा, ये महाबलेश्वर है, महाराष्ट्र से आएगा, it enters Karnataka and then flows like this. Visualization is very important here. Visualization makes it easier for you to remember. For that you need these wall maps. You need atlas as well as wall map. कोई भी atlas उठा लो, उसमें पहले mark करो, then revise using wall map. Wall map is for revision. Is that clear? In addition to this, of course, current affairs, daily newspaper, plus one current affairs magazine. For example, Vision IAS monthly magazine, where there is geography section. Please go through that thoroughly, both for prelims as well as mains. So this will be the sources for geography. For environment, the sources, the basic sources would be NCERT only. Okay, so here 11th and 12th NCERT of biology and chemistry. Biology and chemistry NCERT has chapters related to environment. Please go through that without fail. You will find a lot of concepts related to environment over there. The basic idea only. You don't have to go beyond 12th standard. That is not required. In addition to that, please have a comprehensive material. Okay, any one comprehensive material, for example, Vision IAS comprehensive material on environment. There is one compilation where you will get all the information related to environment. You may find some alternative in the market. Anything which you find it useful, you can go with that. But one complete compilation is required here. If you are taking classes, please use class notes, where you have all the basic conceptual part related to environment, basic information. This will not fulfill the 100% demand of environment in prelims as well as mains. This is just a basic foundation. On that you have to build a building. वो क्या है? Current affairs. This is just 50%. What you read from here and here, it is just 50%. Rest 50% comes from current affairs. Current affairs is the most important part here in environment, both prelims as well as mains. Okay? That is why you need a monthly magazine covering the environmental issues comprehensively. You can refer to Vision IAS monthly magazine, and also there is a environment monthly magazine from Vision, that is Planet Vision. Okay, there is a separate environment magazine. Go to Vision IAS resources, you will find this also. It is exclusively for environment issues in detail. Because what happens in current affairs magazine, we give a summary. You will not find editorials. Here you will find a lot of editorials. How to approach both geography as well as environment. Both are interlinked. Approach is very, very important here. What makes the subject of geography and environment difficult? Many find it very difficult. बहुत लोग आते हैं मेरे पास. Okay, so मुश्किल लग रहा है सर. याद रखना मुश्किल हो रहा है. See, there are different levels of preparation. For any concept for that matter, you cannot start the basic level with facts and information. The basic level is always about the relevance. Okay, the relevance should be the basic level. If you are studying any geography's concepts, try to understand how relevant it is for the real world. Let's say you are studying about the cyclone. First understand what is this basic idea of cyclone, कहाँ पर होता है, क्या दिक्कत होता है cyclone से, क्या दिक्कत होता है, एक general idea बनाओ. You will hear about cyclone every year during the month of October, November, December. Bay of Bengal receives cyclone. It causes huge destruction. बहुत बड़ा सा ऐसे system बन जाता है. It brings huge amount of rainfall. एक basic idea, ठीक है. Now understand the concept behind that. First is the relevance, then comes the concept. What is this idea of cyclone? How it is developed? It requires high temperature, high evaporation, thick clouds, low pressure, strong winds. It develops into huge system which is rotating and moving continuously. That is the concept. Now add the information. Okay, what is the information? It requires 27 degrees of temperature. It can be formed only between 30 degree north and 30 degree south because it requires Coriolis force in that. It requires a high relative humidity, 50 to 60%, like this. Add the information then. What the people do, they will start with the information first. Okay, I'll remember 27 degrees of temperature, 50 to 60% of humidity. इसका क्या रखेंगे, मतलब क्या करेंगे हम इसको रखें, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है, रट्टा मारो बस. You may remember one or two information, gradually you will lose interest. Please don't do that mistake. Always start with the relevance. Understand the basic idea first, then build the concepts. Conceptual clarity is most important. Then add information. If your foundation is strong, उसके ऊपर जितना भी layer add करो वो अच्छे से बैठेगा, समझ आएगा. You will be able to connect well. Always start with the basics, develop conceptual clarity. Basic is relevance, मतलब क्या कहाँ पर use होगा, क्यों है, क्या है, system क्या है, पहले basic idea समझ लो. Develop a conceptual clarity. Understand the practical application, then add information. Both for environment as well as geography, this is very, very compulsory. What people do, they will start with the information. Please don't do that mistake. Don't just mug up the information, mug up the places, mug up the example. फिर हम समझेंगे, बाद में जाके समझ आएगा. बिल्कुल नहीं, बाद में समझने के लिए आपके पास इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं रहेगा. इतना information भर जाएगा कि उसको कोई कहाँ पर क्या करे वो पता नहीं. You will lose interest in the subject. How to add value here? Through maps and figures. While writing the answer, you have to add as many maps and figures as much as possible. You know, every subject has a language in which you express. Geography's language is maps and figures. जितना बनाओगे, जितना express करोगे, उतना बढ़िया रहेगा answer. In every answer, if you can add a map or a figure, you will get an extra mark over there. That adds value. In addition to that, current affairs, introduction, conclusion, examples, recent current affairs, recent current initiatives. Environment is totally current affairs. In geography, you have to bring current affairs. You do this approach, your environment and geography will be thoroughly complete. Then you can confidently say, तुम्हारे पास geography और environment है. ठीक है? Now, to summarize this entire session, so again I would like to go back to the notification, where there is one important line given in the notification. Okay, this is repeated at 2 occasions. One here, while talking about the mains examination, in the notification it is given. The nature and standard of the questions in GS will be such that a well-educated person will be able to answer them without any kind of specialized study. I want to bring your attention to this particular part. In the notification, UPSC is saying that a well-educated person will be able to answer this question without any kind of specialized study. What do you mean by that? You don't have to prepare for UPSC if you are a well-educated person. You can directly go and attend the examination, you will qualify. It is highly optimistic of UPSC to think like that. And totally putting the trust on our education system that once you come out of the college and university, you are a well-educated person, equipped with all the knowledge and information and the capacity to crack UPSC directly. Even I hope for that. Okay, I wait for that one day. Okay, so I will be out of the job, still fine. Okay, so the idea is, of course, you need some kind of basic preparation. Without that, it is difficult to crack UPSC. The idea is there is a subtle guide, a subtle guideline UPSC is trying to give you, how you have to orient your preparation. Okay, of course, you are going to take some support of the system which is available to you to prepare for UPSC exam. In that, try to think from a well-educated person's point of view. Try to think from a common man's point of view. In your entire preparation, particularly for GS, please don't mug up things which you don't understand. First, understand the relevance. What is the idea? What is the necessity of this? What is the use of this for a common man? Anything you study, try to think from the eyes of a common man. Whether it is history, geography, economics, current affairs. Why are you reading all of this? If you are a well-educated person, you would already know. You are living in India, you should know about the history of India. Okay, what was our culture? What was the architecture? What was the historical background? You should know about it. You are working in India, you should know about the economics of India. Who will set the monetary policy? Who will give the budget? Basic idea to pata hona chahiye. You are working in the different parts of country, you should know about the geography of India. And the day-to-day basis technology we use, you should know about the science and technology. So these are all required for a common man. What you are studying in general studies are those things which are required for a well-educated common man. Study from his point of view. Anything which goes beyond that, you don't have to study. If you see in UPSC, most of the questions, 99% of the questions are general application oriented. If it is static part, it is something which is relevant and required for anyone who is a well-educated person who is living in India. Unko ye pata hona chahiye. From the cloud formation to the idea of inflation and going up to the impacts of the cyclone, the impact of disaster, or if you talk about the history, the role of Mahatma Gandhi ji in Indian national movement, how he shaped the entire Indian national movement, and even beyond that, how his ideals were incorporated in independent India. Everything we need this. That idea of common man is what is required in UPSC preparation. If at all you are preparing for UPSC, please focus, please try to think about the practicality, about the relevance part. Don't go beyond any of this. Always remember this line. This is also repeated in one more occasion. Interview ke guidelines mein bhi yahi diya hai. So please go through the notification in detail. Any doubts here? No. Don't make that mistake at all. Read newspaper on daily basis, even if you have not completed any part of GS for that matter. Because if you wait for that GS to be completed, in between you would have lost a lot of information. And it will take a long time for you to remember those things. You may not be able to understand 100% of it. If let's say there is a topic related to inflation in India, there's a news item related to that, just look up what is inflation. With that idea, start reading it. When the topic of inflation is covered in environment, economics, you will read about this in detail. So what is the benefit? In the meantime, you would have already understood the idea of inflation. When the topic comes in your subject, you will understand it more better. And second, you already know this current affairs. You will apply better over there. Okay, don't make that mistake. Always read newspaper on daily basis, even if it is not complete. And overall, if you see the current affairs preparation, it should be gradual approach. You cannot read all the current affairs at a time in the end. You'll remember only 20-30% in that case. If you read throughout the year, you will remember 70 to 80%. Anything else? So I wish you all the best. Thank you.